All right, so I think I'm in focus. All right, so what am I talking about today? Oh, I want to talk about the iPhone 8, and I also want to talk about the iPhone 8 Plus that comes out this week. And I want to talk about how, for the most part, Apple has pretty much given us the same phone for the last 4 years. I know you're like, what, Dave? What are you talking about? But just hear me out. So, it kind of starts back to when Apple released the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. And both the iPhone 6 and 6S Plus are similar to the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus when it relates to design. If you've seen someone with the iPhone 8 and had a case on it, and you see someone with the iPhone 6 and they had a case on it, you really wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I promise you. Particularly if it was, if it was black. It doesn't even matter. So I want to discuss what the last 4 years and like what has changed. It's not that much has changed, so I'm gonna kind of go through this really fast. But here we go. From the 6 to the 6S, we got 3D touch. I don't know what else we got. Probably a better camera or something. Who knows? Now from the 6S to the 7, they removed a lot of stuff. So they removed the headphone jack. They removed the home button. They kind of gave you like a virtual home button that really wasn't a button. And they removed the antenna lines. My dog, by the way, if you hear something over there. They gave us, what did they give us? Apple gave us, with the 7 Plus, they gave us the dual camera. So you got your portrait mode, which was a big plus. And you got some different colors, but that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you got. You got some other stuff, but those are the big things that you really got. With the iPhone 8, what are you getting? Wireless charging. Thank you very much. And I don't know. I think it's just wireless charging. And you get a glass back, so you can break it a lot easier. And, to be honest with you, it really hasn't been an issue for Apple to, convince its users to buy somewhat of a recyclable phone whenever it relates to design. And the reason they're able to convince its users is because I think Apple has some of the best, if not the best, marketing I've ever seen in my life. I find Apple's marketing to be somewhat subtle with, I think a social status kind of attached to it, if that makes any sense. But their marketing, with their marketing, they're able to get news outlets, bloggers, YouTubers like myself to constantly talk about their products. They're always talking about their products. And, I think a lot of it has to do with rumors as well as leaks. And, for Apple, this is really like free publicity and advertisement. They don't have to pay anything for this. So to kind of zero you guys back in, I want to talk about other manufacturers. And, because a lot of people are like, how can Apple sell the same phone over and over and over? I think other manufacturers really need to focus on marketing from a social standpoint. Not to mention, because you're really just talking about two different companies at this point that really have the money to keep up with Apple in terms of marketing, which is Google and Samsung. HTC, LG, they don't have the budget for that kind of stuff. But they do make decent phones, in my opinion. But those two big time manufacturers need to do better. It's going to be really interesting if Google does buy HTC. If you guys haven't heard about that, that'll be interesting to see how that works out. But let me get back on track. So on top of that, I think some of the challenges that manufacturers that use Android, some of the challenges they have is they're using Android. And not to say Android's bad, but it's really hard to convince an iOS user to switch over to Android. I think the only way you really can do that if you keep it simple and you keep it somewhat familiar to iOS. I think that may work, but it's sort of a long stretch. Also, if other manufacturers, if they want to be successful, and there's a lot of them against Apple, I think it's important that they devise a plan to make their operating system simple and easy for anyone to catch on quickly, like my mother. I love you, Mom, but yeah, it's like my mom. If she can catch on, I think they may have a winner. On top of that, what's really important, is that the operating system is stable and it just works how the user expects it to work. I think that's important as well. If the manufacturers, they can't accomplish that, they know they're back to square one and it's kind of starting over to try to gain more users for their smartphone. So I'm just about done. I'm just about to wrap up. Also, not to mention Apple, they do have brick and mortar stores, so I think it's a level of convenience that Apple stores provide. I think it also gives users a peace of mind. So if they have any issues with their phone, they can just take it into an Apple store and get it replaced in a timely manner. Let me see what else. Oh yeah, manufacturers, they also suffer from something else, and minus Google, is the fact that the hardware and software. And I think even Google, because I don't think Google is as involved with the hardware and software as Apple is pretty much, manufacturers, they have to deal with. Apple controls the hardware and software. And a big thing is they also control the processor. So they make their own processors, which, I think makes the iPhones a lot more stable and a lot faster than, even, I don't know, a Note 8 with 1 million gigabytes of RAM. So to kind of recap, I just want to touch on this. It's important that the manufacturers get the marketing down pat, they get the phone experience down pat, and they also get the social status down pat, as well as, if they can get some rumors out there, I think it'll keep them in the news as well. And also, like I mentioned earlier, Apple controls the entire experience from the development process of their smartphones. And I think that's important in terms of, making a quality phone that people can grow to depend on.